This show brings the temperature of sports to a whole new level. Whether it's a local opinion or a national agenda, everything is fair game. Remember, everyone has an opinion, but only few can back it up. Now sit back, crank up the volume, and if you think you can handle it, get ready for the heat.
And welcome in, everybody. No technical difficulties tonight. We are live right here. Heat Ratio Live, Heat Ratio Sports. Give us a follow on all social formats. Make sure you're also following on YouTube page. Hit the subscription button. Hit the like button. You know the drill. Follow the podcast, iTunes, Google Play, wherever it may be. But tonight's a special night. We got Tony, we got Dan, we got Nick, we got everybody. We got Nicky Nuts in the house. We got a packed house in here eating fantastic here at Steam Pub. Follow at Steam Pub on all social formats. Make sure that you're coming in. They got drink specials. They got really, really important stuff going on for St. Patty's Day coming up. I can't believe we're only 2 days away. We talked about that martini that they're throwing out there. That's it got one of our audience members a little hyped up last night. little Nick Foles action, little BDN action. But at the end of the day, man, it's always a good time here at Steam Pub in beautiful Southampton. But boys, listen, a good thing tonight. We got a lot of things going on. We're gonna have a bracket posted in the comments. So make sure you get on there, fill out your bracket. We'll do some bracket busting talk tonight as well. We'll have some live audience interaction. We got some giveaways courtesy of our great sponsors at Prime Roofing, National Bobblehead Museum. Joe Lenardi bobblehead will go out to the person who predicts the one seed, that the highest seed to be upset in the tournament. The Joe Lenardi bobblehead will go out to. So we will make sure we get names and addresses and emails and you name it, but everything will be available. But boys, it's 65 degrees out. It's March, right? It's closer to spring. And before we even get on anything, I got to ask you guys a question because we're starting this right off. We're going to do Jigsaw Chronicles later, but I something on the way here really bothered me. So I'm really appalled by the umbrella in the springtime. Now, let me ask you this, and here's my issue with the umbrella. Listen, if you're an older person and you got to have it, attracting the sun, I'm cool. But here's my issue when you don't put it up. You're walking with an umbrella in your hand. I'm driving, and I'm thinking, do I need to go home? Is it going to rain? Like, now you have my entire psyche messed up. Like, please, if you're going to use an umbrella, put it up and attract sun, but don't put it under your arm, holding your hand. Am I right? Am I the only one that gets real twisted and sick about this stuff?
I think so.
Are you saying you saw somebody walking around with an umbrella today in the
on
sun?
the way here? It was underneath their arm.
I wish I could just comment on that, but I don't think I've honestly ever seen that. What is this? The age of prohibition where people are walking around with umbrellas to keep the sun off their face?
That's what I'm saying.
Your sunscreen?
Was it an elderly person from what you recall?
Well, middle-aged, right? I think, and I kind of agree. I can't believe I'm saying I'm middle-aged here, but I guess I am.
Skincare is important. Yeah,
it is,
but sunscreen is very readily available too.
Yes.
Or a baseball cap.
Yes, or put it up.
Please stop.
I'm just asking you
agree with that.
Listen.
Yeah.
I'm just asking you to pitch the tent.
Yes.
That's all I'm saying. Pitch the tent. That's it. Simple as that. But guys, listen, that's my spiel for tonight. That's just something that bothers me. I'm weird, man. Things just kind of kill me, man. Adam checking in. What's up, Tony and Nick and T? Mr. Gladstone.
What's up, Adam?
I like it. Al checking in.
Yeah.
Al, to you and your wife, a fantastic happy anniversary. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself on this wonderful day. Can't wait to have you back next week, but I'm glad that you're there so your wife doesn't come find me and kill me, okay, for having you here. So, but guys, we're going to get into a lot of stuff. We got some free agency talk, NFL talk. Obviously, it's been exploding. The MLB opening day is coming by. I will be there. Just purchased my tickets today. Cannot wait to go down. We have a lot of other stuff to talk about, too. You got Sixers issues, right? I don't, this could be a long show. We're here till 9 o'clock tonight. But let's just start with the March Madness talk. And again, this is the most, as soon as I came in, our favorite waitress came in. She's like, do you believe it's March Madness? Do you believe it's March, right? We're so excited. We got brackets. But Dan, let me just go to you first. What is just overall have you always been so excited over March Madness, or has it grown or kind of regressed as you've gotten old?
I would say it's regressed. When I was in high school, I was a sick basketball fan. I didn't need to watch Jay Billis tell me who to select each game. I literally knew all the teams, and Nick and I were talking about this. I became a college basketball junkie the year John Pannone was a junior for Villanova. That would have been '83. I'm old.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell that is.
John Pannone was with he graduated a couple years before the '85 team won the championship.
I was going to ask you if that was a pizza or something.
He might have owned a pizza shop as well after.
There
his
you go.
retirement.
Keeping that Mike Gladstone. You sound better like
Yes,
that. I like that. That's for you, Adam. But go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Tanner.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my greatest memory has to be, and I'm going to jump on the assumption that Nick's the same way, is the '85 Nova team. They went on a deep run, and they deep one. They won the whole thing. All those kids were 4 years seniors.
Okay.
Unlike today, and it was just
different game.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It was just an amazing time. The fond memory I have, and it's not so fond of my friend who might be watching this. A friend of mine named Scott. I won't say his last name. Him and his brother put a pool together. The whole high school. I mean, everybody was throwing money in this pool, and they would only have taken a bath if Villanova had won the whole thing. They were like, there's no way Nova's going to win it. Because, a lot of people were naive. They just went with the local team.
Right.
That was the year of Patrick Ewing and Georgetown, guaranteed winners. And as we know, Villanova won, and my friend took an absolute bath. They owed so much money that their dad had to bail him out. That was such a we were breaking his stones in the locker room. They're not going to win it. And then every time they kept getting to the next round, we're like, Nova's gonna kill you. No, they're not gonna win it. Even in the championship,
you never know,
game,
man.
Even in the championship game, he was convinced Georgetown was gonna pull it off. He was probably the only kid in the Delaware Valley rooting against Nova.
Yeah, you never know, man. You never know, right, Nick? I mean, you never know.
I mean, Dan and I are the same age, and ironically, 1983 was the year that sucked me in too. I was the older kid in my neighborhood, and I wound up finding a sucker that would take North Carolina State when I had Houston, and the Phi Slamma Jamma, the famous
Phi Slamma Jamma.
Yeah, I mean, Clyde Drexler, Keem Olajuwon,
Larry Mishaw.
It was all over for me after that. I remember being a kid just staying up to watch that game. I was 14, and seeing it was who was it? Alonzo?
No, Patrick Ewing.
No, for North Carolina State that hit that final, that took that final dunk.
Lorenzo.
Oh yeah,
he passed away too.
Yes. Well, yeah, and that was ironically the Jimmy Valvano team
Thurl
where
Bailey was a star.
Yeah, running out onto the court.
Lorenzo Wright,
Jimmy V,
looking for somebody to hug on the basketball court, right?
Jimmy
Running
V.
around. But I suckering the kids in to take. I had Houston with against every 11-year-old in the neighborhood, and I wound up losing that bet.
Man.
Yeah, I mean, that was it. And then leading into 1995, obviously you just talked about that. So for me, Tony, the answer to that is that I got a little bit older. There's more to root for on the local level, and so I've regressed a little bit when it's come to college basketball. A little more things on my plate right now.
But ain't that the truth?
But Tony, to his point, he just mentioned an NC State team of '83. And I swear to God, guys, the only thing on my computer right now is the bracket we currently are going to talk about. But right away, Derek Wittenberg, Sidney Lowe were the two guards.
Who?
You had
what?
Thurl Bailey was their star center, and then Lorenzo Wright.
Yeah,
might have been. I'm drawing a blank on. He was the rookie that caught the Sidney Lowe air ball and slammed it in.
Oh, yeah. I remember.
And Kozal McQueen was the big man off the bench. It's just amazing how those are the years where I can name.
They stick out in your head, though, man.
I can name the whole Phi Slamma Jamma.
Lorenzo Charles.
That is why March Madness is so great, right? It's why March Madness is so symbolic. It's so prestigious because it continues to keep our blood going over the years, even though, like Nick said, I agree. You know, the excitement has regressed for me a little bit over the years because obviously I have so much going on. When you get to a middle-aged adult, you have a lot going on, but you know, it's not the same where I could just blow off everything on a Thursday afternoon and just sit in front of the TV for 9 hours, right? I mean, some people can. Maybe they use your vacation time, which is great. Me, if I use my vacation on that, I'd probably be divorced. So I'm just going to throw that out there. But Javon checking in says, it's been more exciting for me as I've gotten older. It's nothing like Thursday at noon when those first games are kicking off. Absolutely. Javon also says, fondest memories for me, those J. Wright teams with Randy Foy, Alan Ray, and Mike Nardi.
Yeah.
The LaSalle Sweet 16 team a few years back was fun for me to watch too. Man, and see, this is what's great about it.
Go back to Speedy Morris and
Speedy Morris. The L train?
Yeah.
Was that the L train
Simmons,
day?
Yeah, babe, absolutely. Lionel Simmons was on that team. Yep.
The Big Five in the mid-'80s, there was nothing like it. I mean, you had stars like Ed Pinckney, Granger Hall from Temple.
Granger Hall, bro.
Maurice
I gotta
Martin
get that
from St. Joe's.
I gotta get that Stone Cold.
Tony Costner from St. Joe's.
Kevin Costner?
Tony Costner. He played in the NBA.
For me, it's UNLV.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and yes, and it goes back to the reason why I hate Coach K.
Charles.
Because that was my team, that UNLV team. Larry Johnson, Stacey Algren, Greg Anderson, George Ackles, who everybody forgets.
He was the number one pick, too.
Yeah, George Ackles.
Barely played.
I mean, Anderson Hunt.
Anderson Hunt was a little
Hunt.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my team, and they got beat by Duke, by Bobby Hurley. Duke. I mean, it's killing me. But I mean, I also go back. Listen, I had, we watched sometimes. Shout out, Mr. Cliver was my basketball coach growing up. You remember these guys, and he took me to the A10 tournament every year down at Palestra, and I used to sit right behind the bench, and I would get able to watch those UMass and Temple battles, St. Bonnie's, watching guys like Eddie Jones and Aaron McKee. And I mean, that's what I grew. That's my era of basketball. That's what I grew up on. So, and again, that's why it's great about these memories. Now, Vinny checking in says St. Joe's, Nelson, and West teams was fun. Absolutely, man. Yeah. Man, when the Hawks were that was a great time, wasn't it?
They lost to Oklahoma State, right?
You would know better than me, bro.
Well, Vinny, they lost to Oklahoma State,
they
right?
Lost to Oklahoma State, but then nothing was like really, in my opinion, watching those Duke years with Leitner
and Grant Hill
and Grant Hill, and the famous game at the Spectrum where they beat North Carolina.
Yeah, absolutely
on the pass of basketball history, college basketball history. I mean, have we ever seen anything like that?
It wasn't North Carolina, brother.
It wasn't?
No, it's Kentucky. Bro.
Oh, Kentucky. You're right. I'm sorry.
My bad. That's a look at the historian. Let him go, man. I like it. We need an encyclopedia here, man.
I love you, Nick.
Absolutely. But Javon checking in says Sweet 16 team was the Tyrone Garland South Philly floater team. Southwest Philly. I'm sorry. Southwest Philly. So, again, this is why I say it again, man. March Man is so great because a lot of memories for that. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about first round exits or should we say top seeds that may bust the bracket, right? Who is that one team? Obviously, everybody's picking Gonzaga to win it all. But
I think everybody's rooting for Gonzaga.
Everybody's rooting for Gonzaga, right? But here's the thing: if you're a betting man, there's no money to win with Gonzaga, right? Because they're the favorite, right? So you gotta put a lot of cash on the line in order to just get a little bit back. So if you look at this bracket as a whole, Dan, what if you had to say? If I said to you the 4 top number 1 seeds, what would be, if any, the first one to fall?
Well, based on my bracket, it's Baylor is going to fall to UCLA.
Wow. You got Baylor.
Yeah, so the defending champs. So, and then I have the other 3 number 1s getting to the Final Four.
So who's your favorite?
Well, I have Gonzaga, as you kind of hinted towards.
Right. I know they're not a number 1 seed or nothing, but Kansas is number 1 seed. I've always been a Kansas guy. Goes back to the Adonis Jordan days, man. I loved Kansas. So yeah, like that name? How's that?
I do. That's
nothing in front of me right here, bro.
That is a good
yeah. So I'm a big Kansas guy, but Kentucky.
Yep.
Right, Nick? I like Kentucky, right? I mean, they got that. They got the history. They got the coach.
You took the words right out of my mouth because probability will be the Final Four will be Gonzaga and Kentucky.
That's what I'm thinking.
And just Gonzaga's shit luck will have them not making it to the finals. And then, Kentucky has a good matchup against Arizona.
They do.
And could take it all there. So you read my mind there, Tony, when you said it. I was actually going to just chime in and say Kentucky.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. They were on the same page.
We're on the same
page.
It.
I like it.
But, to me, it's a Kentucky-Arizona final. And I in my heart, it tells me Arizona does win that game. But, I don't know, man. Kentucky just they've got that mystique about them when they get into that. It's just, you can see it happening. And I totally go with Kentucky to, as a number 2 seed to go in and take it all.
I like it. Now, Adam says I picked Arizona to win it all. Arizona, another good. Nikki Nuts, you got your number 1 seed, man. First one you think's out. Who are you thinking?
I'd like to be flashy.
Uh-oh. Hit that button on the microphone. Make sure that button's on. I messed you up.
I'd love
There
to
you go.
shock you, but I got Gonzaga too.
See, everybody, but I get it.
I think that's more people rooting for that to happen with their heart, you know what I mean, rather than really thinking that they're going to win it.
I just think they got boys. They got men playing against boys.
They're also due.
They are due. They're due. They've never done it. So.
They've just been smashing people left and right.
They're a solid team.
They are really solid. So you're right, though. Men against boys. It's like the Alabama of football, right? I mean, you're playing against real men when you play that team. So it's going to be interesting. Chime in. Let us know who is. We're going to survey some people here in the audience, and who do we think? Nick, the next time you see our favorite waitress, make sure you grab her, ask her who that first seed you think is going to win first or lose first, I should say. Which one would she think she's going to lose first? But it's interesting because. What are the odds, boys, that all 4 number 1 seeds go to the Final Four this year?
It's only happened once.
Yeah, I don't think it'll happen.
So last year was crazy, right? Last year was absolutely crazy.
More what? Not a lot of chalk last year?
No, I'm saying a lot. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I'm like, you go back and forth, and like I said, March Madness, anything can happen. We got the playing games tonight. Luckily, we're right here in beautiful Bucs County at Steam Pub. Right here, we got the NIT tournament on. Watching it as we speak. You can see it a little bit in the background. Got the Vanderbilt game on. So make sure you get down here, grab a nice martini, get ready for St. Patty's Day. Couple days early, right? 100%. Just make sure if you're bringing your umbrella, you make sure that it's up in the air and not under your arm, please, for Jigsaw's benefit. That's all I'm asking, man. Please do that. But anyway, Adam says I think Duke will go out in the second round. I hope they do. I'm not a Duke guy. Never been a Duke guy. Never. Yeah. Anybody with a fixture named Cherokee Parks is not my team. Just throwing it out there. Remember Cherokee
Nicky
Parks?
Nuts is not a Duke guy.
Thank you, Nick.
I am not a Duke
Christian
guy.
Leitner.
He did replace Christian Leitner.
But Tone, answer your question. I knew I had it in my notes somewhere. The last time all 4 teams that were ranked number 1 got to the Final Four was 2008.
2008. Who were those teams?
Kansas,
Boom.
Memphis, North Carolina, and UCLA.
And it's always those prestigious franchises.
Right.
You know what I mean? Now, was that Dean Smith, UNC?
Yes.
Right. And Roy Williams, Kansas.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, again.
No, you know what? I'm not sure. It might have been Bill Self, to be honest with you.
You think it was in 08?
I'll have to look that up.
Yeah, I'm just curious.
Now, Roy Williams might have taken over by then.
You know what? Let me real fast. I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. Nick, I'll ask you first. Coaches, NCAA coaches, guys that obviously we know who you hold, but one of your, whether it be just because you liked his style, you like the historic factor of him, what are the top couple coaches in your mind when it comes to the tournament that you remember?
I mean, the first one, Coach K just is.
I get it.
He's just there. He's just that guy that's always there. He's always around. He's a great coach. It's year after year. The team just seems to find a way to get deep into the tournament, whether they're seated high or whether they're seated low. I remember Tark back in the day with the towel.
With the towel. The amoeba defense. The amoeba.
You can't not forget that. But John Chaney. Come on,
man.
Him and
Calipari.
Him and Calipari. When Calipari was at Massachusetts. I'm going to kill you, man. He threatened to kill him, man. He did on live TV, which was great. But But I think for me, if you gotta pick one. I mean, Bobby Knight. Obviously, you don't know how you forget Bobby Knight. He was just so demonstrative, throwing chairs. And
would you
shit.
want?
I mean,
would you
oh
want your
my
son
God.
to play for him?
Yes.
for Bobby Knight?
Absolutely.
Yes.
In a second.
Yeah.
Yes.
Toughen that kid up.
Yes. Hey, teach him how to be a man. Bobby Knight.
By choking him, yeah. Sure.
You're talking to the guy who holds one of the records for getting kicked out of ICSL games in soccer, okay? Like my daughter's in the audience right now. She can tell you right now in softball, the referees knew the umpires knew my voice.
Yeah, but you were kind to your players. I've coached.
I
with
was
you.
kind to my
I've
players.
Coached with you.
You're right.
He was not. He headbutted his player on the sideline once.
Yeah, but basketball is different. Basketball and football are different animals, man. When you got to be tough. You gotta be tough.
Gotta be loud and have dominance on that basketball court.
Dan doesn't have boys, so that's
but I never liked Bobby Knight. I was thinking from
you never liked Bobby Knight?
An athlete's perspective. I would never want to play for him.
So who you like, Dan?
So when I was a kid growing up, obviously, Roley and Luke Carnesecca was a character. I remember John Thompson also had the towel over his shoulder.
Absolutely.
Nolan Richardson of Arkansas was a great coach. But today, I'm going to leapfrog over Coach K. To me, the best coach is Tom Izzo.
Tom Izzo.
Really? I think he's a
MSU.
I think he gets the most out of his teams. Him and Jay Wright, to be honest with you.
So
look at Jay Wright's talent. He's won 2 national championships.
So how about that Arkansas? I want to go back to Nolan Richardson. Very underrated, in my opinion. I grew up
terrific coach.
Lots of Nolan. Dude, those teams with Corliss Williamson, Todd Day, Lee Mayberry.
Yep.
That was my squad, man. I mean, people, they're very, very underrated. Very underrated. And he was an underrated coach. So, no, I didn't mean to cut you off, I love Nolan Richardson.
No,
I love that. I love that name.
The great thing about sports is that coaches not only could be great with X's and O's, but some of them are amazing personalities.
Yes.
I mean, as much as I don't like Bobby Knight, the guy was a personality. Now, Dean Smith was not a personality.
No.
He was boring as a pair of socks.
He was very cut and dry.
And that's why Jim Valvano kind of shook up the whole ACC.
John Thompson was pretty mild-mannered as well.
No, unless
he was going up against Boeheim.
He was a big dude,
right.
though. He was a 6'10" coach. He was very intimidating.
Him and Raleigh went at it a lot, too.
Yeah, like him and Raleigh. If he went up against Boeheim, those two would absolutely go at it 100%. So
we got a big Villanova fan here.
Oh, we got Wildcats. Hey, Pat, how are you? I'm doing good. You too. That's why you got your Villanova shirt on, I say.
So who do you have winning the tournament this year?
Villanova, baby.
Villanova. Nova Finest, man. Say that's what we got here.
We're not from the Delaware Valley, are we?
Oh, man. I like it. Absolutely. Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah, we got Nicky Nuts is all over that. That's why I got that name. I see that smirk right there.
How unfair do you think it is that the two local teams that make the tournament go head to head? We played.
I don't get it.
I'm surprised they threw Delaware.
I don't understand that.
The two what teams?
They threw Delaware at Villanova.
Oh yeah.
That didn't make sense. It's just bad public relations.
It is. I don't understand it, to be honest with you. Why?
I mean, Delaware's going down regardless, but they shouldn't have to play against another local team.
Yeah. No, you're right. No, you're absolutely right. I want to go back to the coaches for a second.
All right.
I want to get Nicky Nuts on the record. I know he's going to be a strong arm guy. He wants a different coach before we move on to some NFL talk here. Adam's already checking and says no BDN yet. No, Adam, BDN is not in the building tonight. Haven't seen him yet, by the way. I have not seen him yet. But I want to go a little different, right? So I love the Huggy Bear.
Overrated coaches are you going?
No, I'm just going who I like. I love the Huggy Bear. Okay, I love the old Cincinnati Bearcats.
Yeah, well, he's coaching at my daughter's university right now.
He's West Virginia's fine. Absolutely.
Her tuition's going to his $8 million a year salary.
Oh, stop!
I think so.
I'm a Bobby Cremens guy from Georgia Tech.
Yeah, nice hair. He had a nice head of hair.
He did. But again, Gene Cady, Purdue Boilermakers.
He had bad head of hair.
Yeah, he had terrible hair. Terrible hair.
It's like
he was terrible. He was terrible. But they're the guys that I remember because I grew up on certain players watching them. Like
Gary Williams is a great coach.
Gary Williams is another great coach. Now let me ask you something. You mentioned Bill Self. Replacing the great Roy Williams. Is Bill Self, is he overrated? Is he as good? Like, because a lot of people hold him in high regard.
I don't think so. I mean, his teams are always
Okay, I'm just curious.
top 4 ranked.
When you take over
a
a
4 seed,
legend like Roy Williams,
well, and Rory Williams, it's funny. He took over. But he was a legend. Took over. That was a seamless transition for him.
That is true. That is true.
But yeah, Bill Self had a harder takeover than for sure than Williams did. And imagine who's taking over for Coach K. One of his assistants, right?
You know what? I don't.
A former player that
didn't
doesn't
even
have a big
Grant
name.
Hill?
It's not Tommy Amaker, who it should be.
Is it Bobby Hurley?
No,
Is it
I
Thomas Hill?
don't know the answer. I don't know the answer. It's a
Cherokee Parks?
No. That's like a porn star.
It's not Christian Leitner.
Is it a porn star?
it's not
Wait,
Leitner.
hold on.
It's definitely not Leitner.
We got to talk to this for a second. If there was a porn star named Cherokee, I'd never watch that film. Cherokee? Like, think about that.
Wasn't there a Hayapatha?
I don't want to say names here, but
I just did.
like,
sorry.
think about a title
Yeah.
like Cherokee's Finest. Like,
Sure.
like I'm going to say something.
Let's
I'm
move
gonna
on.
get
Let's move on. Let's move
Nicky
on.
Nuts. Who you got? Famous coaches, NCAA. Who does Nicky Nuts gravitate towards?
I'm not special. I love Cheney. I love Bobby Knight. I'm those kind of coaches.
In your face, Connie.
Yeah, I'm all about kids have to respect the coach. You got to do what you need to do. If you don't, you're going to get a chair thrown at you, or you might even get punched in the eye. You never know.
Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes to get the win.
Listen, man.
You got to do that.
Whatever.
And kids respect that. To be honest with you,
Yeah.
as much as it's harsh for people to see and hear, kids actually respond to that, and they look up to you because you have that ability to hold a room. And I think both of those have exactly what hold the room.
Well, it's the infamous fight between UMass and Temple, man, right?
Not everybody's going to agree, and you have to agree with the coach whether you like him or not. You have to agree with them.
I agree.
Or you're going to get bent.
I'm in your face. I literally, and this is full transparency. Okay, I coach right now. The kids are 15 and 16, and when I bring new kids to my team, I have a one-on-one with the parents. I say, just so you know, I'm really hard. Like I am. Like I get in their face, I yell, I scream, but I love them to death, and I'll go to battle with them every day of the week. I keep in touch with my players. I text them to make sure, I tell them straight up, you can't do good in school. You want to listen to your parents? Don't come here. Because you think they're going to yell at you? Bro, you don't want to get me in your ass. So, that's just how I coach.
I actually made a contract that discusses exactly how I coach.
I love it.
Discusses exactly how I discipline.
Does it say in there that you take your shirt off on the sideline every now and then? Yeah. Yeah. I was just wondering because I've seen that on occasion.
So
I've never seen anybody do that.
My man, he's on another level.
Yeah, you have not experienced that yet, man.
Yeah. Tom Selleck comes out.
The Nick show.
That is the Nick show.
But yeah, so I actually had the kids sign it. I let the parents know, and it eliminates a lot of the questions that you're going to have throughout the year. You're still going to have those questions, but it eliminates the problem with that, saying, hey, I forewarned you in the beginning of the year that this is how it's going to be. And you get a little kickback every now and then.
That's okay.
Happens, but of course, it's their kid. They want them to play.
Listen, I can say one thing, and you're going to know this because you probably deal with the same thing, right? So everybody, and I'm not going to say who coach for, everybody knows who I coach for, but there are a lot of teams having issues at this age, holding players and kids leaving. So the max you're allowed to have active on game day is 18. The max you can have on your team is 22. And we have 21, and I got 5 kids that are just waiting for an extra spot where people can't even feel the team. And I'm not saying that to throw myself, but I'm just saying that it is okay to be up in your face and hard on kids, as long as you do it in a respectful manner. I know it sounds like an oxymoron, but it's the truth. Hold them accountable. But it's their safe zone. People have to realize that. When they come to practice, that's their safe zone. Right, and you make them feel like, number one, they need to have respect, but also that they can feel comfortable about being themselves in front of you, and they're not going to cross you at all. So I think that's very important. Good, Nick, what's up?
No, I was just going to say, there's a line that can be crossed that most of these cautions we're talking about, with the exception of the choking incident. I mean, and John Chaney threatening to kill John Calipari.
Oh, that was great, though.
But I mean, for the most part, I would say, 99% of the time those lines are not crossed?
Oh, absolutely.
So, I mean,
absolutely.
Yeah,
and I know.
Yeah, I mean, the lines that are crossed generally are outside of the court.
Yeah,
like
or like Jerry Sandusky.
or
Right.
Well,
I mean, that kind of line.
Which coach? There's a college coach I'm drawing a blank on. It might have been Patino. Didn't he do something stupid on a motorcycle?
Rick Pitino? I don't know.
Anyway, but it's usually outside the lines.
Urban Meyer.
What I want to, this is basketball, I think, but there are, we probably listed 10 coaches already.
Oh yeah, easy.
And some,
easy.
they all don't have the same personality, as you know.
No, just like us four
and,
right here.
And arguably the greatest coach of all time is John Wooden.
John Wooden
Won I think 10 national championships.
In a crate.
He ran the same practice for like 40 straight years.
Right.
But it worked. It worked.
Right. He never deviated his practice.
Right. It worked, and he never went away from it.
The legend of Westwood.
The what? The legend of what?
Westwood. That's where UCLA,
Oh, okay.
UCLA is
sorry.
located. Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't know that. So make sure everybody's checking in, right? Give us your top team. Put it in the comments. If you watch this on replay, make sure before Thursday, get it in there. We'll make you eligible. There'll be a link for a couple brackets that you can join. Obviously, make sure you check them out as well. So let's get into this. We'll ask our first trivia question, Dan. So get your trivia question ready.
All right.
I know you're ready, but again, as always, trivia question brought by our wonderful sponsor here at Prime Roofing. Is your roof way past its prime? Is your roof in need of an exterior upgrade? What if you've already damaged, Dan, and don't know where to begin? From helping with insurance claims to seeking the proper course of action, Prime Roofing guides you through the entire process. They use communication and transparency to rescue your roof the right way. So make sure you're following at www.primeroofingpa.com and get your project started today. And make sure you're talking to Bernie. He is the guy to speak to help you through the process. So, Dan, that Prime Roofing special trivia for that NCAA tournament, what do you got, my man?
All right. This can be difficult. So no Googling. All right. So this question is, which of these teams has never been to the Final Four? Never been to the Final Four. Is it A, George Mason, B, Wichita State, C, Arkansas, D, San Diego State? One of those teams has never been to the Final Four.
I'm not going to answer because I know the answer, so it will not be me. So make sure you listen and put your answer in the comments as always, and we'll keep this going as well throughout the entire show.
I want to answer just to get a free Prime hat.
No.
I want to get a hat, dude. Come on. I need a Prime hat.
Yo.
You would think my brother-in-law works for him. I can't
what is up with that, man? Like,
what's up with that?
Listen, man. That's the problem, man. They are completely taking you off the map, Nick. Completely taking you off the map.
I got them coming out to my house to do some repairs to my house right now. So,
do you really?
Yes.
Do you have wind damage?
I don't have wind damage, but I do have faulty installment that needs to be fixed.
That's a problem.
That is a problem.
Yep.
Oh man, these guys are good, man. These guys are good. I think we have an answer already. And it's from our good friend Javon. San Diego State. Dan, do we have a winner?
We do.
That is correct.
Now,
that is correct.
Was that for the bobblehead?
That was for the bobblehead.
All right. I should have given a harder one than that.
That's all right, man. That's all right. We got all kinds of stuff, man.
Joe, I'm going to miss you.
We're good to go.
I'm going to miss Joe. He's been sitting in front of me for weeks now. It's like he's part of the family.
Joe's part of the family. It's all good. Later, Joe's going away. So that was quick, man. No, the people that you didn't get it, man. You didn't get it. So, man, Javon wins that. We'll get with Javon as always and get the fantastic Joe Leonardi bobblehead, which you see right in front of the counter right there, as courtesy of the National Bobblehead Museum. So make sure you check them out at Bobblehead Hall on all social formats. So let's move on.
Tony, I got the waiter here. Awesome waiter.
All right,
he's going to pick the Final Four.
No. Give him one team. Who's the first team what's the first number one seed do you think is going to lose?
Gonzaga. They'll lose? No, they'll make it. The first one to lose?
Yeah, first one to lose, man. Who you got? Look, your first number one seed you think is going to lose in this tournament?
Baylor, Arizona, Gonzaga, or Arizona.
It's
Either
going to
Kansas or Arizona.
Oh,
Probably Kansas.
Oh, wow,
probably
Kansas.
Kansas. I like that.
I mean, I'm a big Arizona fan, but probably not.
That's all right, man. I like it. We got a Kansas. That's our first Kansas for the
All
night.
right.
I like that. Listen, man, Kansas. I like
Hey,
Kansas.
Steam
but-
Pub waiters.
at Steam Pub.
Waiters are like on point, man.
In between running those martinis
That's right.
back and forth.
Yeah,
man.
dude.
Right now, no one's wrong.
No, nobody's. No, yeah, we're going 2 for 2, man. We're going 2 for 2. But yeah, the tournament's not started yet, so obviously nobody's wrong. Let's get some NFL talk,
Please.
You know, and please, here's what I have to ask you guys. Like, I don't know what happened. You know, we talked about. We had our infamous BDM fan here last week, so we were all about the Eagles last week.
Oh my goodness.
So Dan had a pretty good talk with that afterwards. We'll get into that later. But Doug Peterson. So does Doug Peterson have a little case of BDM because he's got a lot of pull out there in Jacksonville? I mean, they're just spending money like it's coming out of the sewer out there. I mean, they are doing, and here's what I want to say. They are doing exactly what we want people to do with Jalen Hurts, right? If Jalen Hurts is going to be the quarterback, surround him with as much talent as possible. And Dan, they're going out swinging out there in Jacksonville, ain't they?
They are. I mean, the one player that people have ripped it, and I've always been a fan of his if he ever could stay healthy. I like the Evan Ingram signing.
I do too. But
I mean,
if he can stay healthy.
Yeah, it's a 1-year prove it deal. And I think he's a hell of an athlete, so he needs to stay healthy. They also signed I'm trying to think what other Kirk.
Yeah.
Christian Kirk, big money, bro.
18.4 a year.
Big money.
now the-
Changing the game.
Now the question I'll ask you, would you want to make a play on Laviska Shenault?
I love Shenault.
He's now available.
But the problem, though, is he's not the receiver that we need.
No.
He's not the receiver we need on this team. We need another bona fide 1A, 1B, whatever it is to go with my man Devontae Smith. So we need somebody. Listen, I'm good, with that Allen Robinson effect, right? You're right. I mean, I think that's the kind of guy we need. I mean, but the guy I like, Nick, we talked about this, was DJ Chark. And he goes to Detroit.
Terrible.
So yeah, we had a show about 2 or 3 weeks back when we were discussing free agency, and two that popped off the top of my head when you weren't talking about real big names were Christian Kirk and DJ Chark.
Yep.
And they're the two that went off the board.
Just not here.
We saw Kirk sign this monstrous $18 million a year deal, which is going to change the game in free agency. Now, what does Allen Robinson want? What does Juju Smith-Schuster want after seeing this contract?
He's not going to.
I know he's been hurt, and I know he didn't really have good production last year, but that contract is going to really. Well, I think what we're going to see right now is we're going to see a wait and see game going on.
Yes.
Let's see what happens in the draft. Who can we pick up as a receiver in the first or second round, and then go after some of these big name free agencies like Robinson and possibly. You guys aren't Juju guys. I mean, I think
I like Juju.
I think he would fit in.
I like Juju,
but he's not an explosive receiver like
But
Kirk is. So he's a
slot
slot guy.
Yeah, right.
Here, Allen Robinson might be going to Green Bay.
Oh.
I don't
think they have the room to sign
And
him.
I don't know if Adam's going to stay.
I don't know, man. Well, right now they're far apart. They're far apart. He don't want to play under the tag.
He's just going to sit out.
He said he's not playing under the tag. So, and this is the problem you have when you pay your quarterback $60 million.
You kill the roster.
So not to get sidetracked here, but let me ask you this, fellas, because that brings up a great point, because we've had many discussions on this show where we've talked about guys like Drew Brees taking a lot of money and guys like Tom Brady taking a hometown discount, who we'll talk about later coming back. But does this fall on Aaron Rodgers? I mean, if you want your number one guy, don't you go into those negotiations and say, listen, somehow, some way, we need to figure out how we take care of Devontae and how we take care of myself. We're both happy and we can both be competitive, because they just signed Aaron Jones last year to a huge deal. They can't sign everybody, right? What do you think, Nick?
Just like Amir Cooper.
Yep.
He's gone.
Well,
he left because they gave all that money to Dak. And you know what I mean?
I think there was other stuff going on there. I don't think that was money related. They want. I mean, obviously they signed Michael Gallup. They gave him a big extension. They wanted to do that, but I think Amari still could have been there. But there was some locker room stuff going on that people don't realize.
You don't think he saw the writing on the wall?
No matter where he goes.
You don't think he saw the writing on the wall?
No, because he's under contract.
And
What you gonna do?
And they got nothing for him.
Right. They got nothing.
He bitched and moaned in Oakland or in
did.
LA and
Yep.
Oakland.
No,
Raiders.
it'll always
Go
be
Raiders.
Oakland.
Yeah.
It'll always
Bitched and
be.
moaned with the Raiders, and he's doing the same thing in Dallas, and he'll probably wind up doing the same thing in he's Cleveland now, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cleveland, where they just released Jarvis Landry.
Right.
I personally want them to draft a wide receiver
The
versus
Eagles, I'm
yeah.
out. I'm out on the draft.
I want them to draft
dude.
a wide receiver.
Listen, you can't win with two brand new guys. You need somebody to establish to help this kid understand. Listen, you have a bunch of young receivers on this team already, right? I want to see guys excel. I don't want you can't win with all young guys. You need at least somebody who knows how to run a proper route, who knows how to get off a bump and run coverage, that's going to go across the middle and take the big hit, which is guys like Allen Robinson.
Yes.
Right? I mean, I just think he's the perfect fit, man. I wanted Godwin before he re-signed. Like, I was like, I would love Chris Godwin here, right?
The problem with Allen Robinson, Tone knows, I believe he made $18 million.
He did make a lot of money
in his last year. So you do think he'd want to at least pick up at that number.
Yeah.
And I don't see the Eagles offering him that kind of money.
No,
I don't
you
see
never
anybody
know.
offering that kind of money.
No.
Right. So yeah, and if Nicky Nuts is correct, and he's got some kind of inside knowledge with the Packers,
I think Nick's got the inside.
He just
line
reminds
in
me of an Alshon Jeffries.
Who's that?
Rob.
He's better than Alshon. Jeffries.
Yeah.
Allen.
Well,
He's
yeah,
younger
but he
too,
can
he's
play
like
that
25.
role.
Yeah, he just reminds
can
me of
play
an
that role.
Alshon Jeffries, and I just see that being an issue.
Yeah, listen, I think he could play that role. But now our Javon checking in says the Packers probably shouldn't have given Jones that much money either. I agree. I think they overpaid for Aaron Jones, and then they draft Mr. Dillon, who is
AJ Dillon.
I mean, come on, man.
I didn't think he was going to be back. Remember we had that question?
Yeah, you're right.
I was shocked.
We all were shocked.
I was shocked.
We were all shocked. We thought he was going to go to Miami. Remember?
Yes.
It says Rodgers should have taken the lower cap hit for 1 year. I agree. It's what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do, man. Yeah, I can't say it enough. I can't say enough. But here's the thing we talked about, Chart. Boys, do you realize that? Listen, I'm not a Jared Goff guy, but they got some weapons in Detroit, man. Right? Do you guys understand that Amon St. Brown was a top 10 receiver when it comes to statistical categories?
He turned it on at the end of the year.
90 catches for almost 1,000 yards.
He was a beast at the end of the year.
TJ Hawkinson.
Yeah.
Right? So you go Hawkinson, you go Brown. Now you have Chark. You have DeAndre Swift. Are you kidding? They're building a nice little squad out there, man. So I like to see that because I don't want to see pushovers all the time. I like to see some young talent. But, I mean, I'm waiting for that shoe to drop for the Eagles.
What do you guys think the number? I mean, really, like seriously, like you're looking at the free agent market and you're thinking about what you want to spend for a receiver after seeing what happened with Christian Kirk.
That's what's
and you
crazy.
got Robinson and Schuster out there, but there's still Jarvis Landry is now available out there.
Yeah, right.
T.Y. Hilton, if maybe on a 1 or 2 year deal. I don't know. Manny Sanders, Sammy Watkins. I don't. Are those guys that you would sign for 1 or 2 years?
Pascal.
Because honestly, I think the Eagles
getting.
are probably looking at like spending $10 million a year on a receiver.
I bet
I don't see them going for much more than
They'll
that.
go to the Coltree with Zach Pascal. I don't have a good feeling about that.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of different names out there now, but the problem is the market has been set. Like you said, Nick, I mean, it's what do you want to pay, right? You just gave Jason Kelsey, you redid his deal, gave him the nice money, right? Which deservingly so. Hey, wait, how about Zach Ertz getting paid, man? Zach Ertz got, I mean, he not over, but at least he deserved a 3-year deal. Good for him.
Yeah, his projected numbers, if he had stayed a full season with the Cardinals, would have been like 87 catches a year. And that's probably how they came up with the contract.
Yeah, no, you're 100% right. How about Mitch Trubisky? Reborn.
I wish Johnny was here.
Reborn in Pittsburgh. My man Mitch. What was that? Like,
what was he, number 4 or 5 pick overall? North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
That was the
Mahomes
draft. Yeah.
Dude,
Once again, Rodgers ruined my whole thought process because he was supposed to go to Pittsburgh. I wanted him to go to Pittsburgh.
I told you both would stay in Green Bay.
Yeah, well,
But I didn't think he'd ever get $50 million a year.
no.
That's insane.
No. Listen, I'm shocked. I mean, that's Mike Tomczak written all over it, man. Like, seriously, I'm dumbfounded that Was that the best left? Is that what they were thinking? Like, we can't roll in with Hodge? Like, is that the best that they had left?
Well, the Rooneys for sure don't take chances with character guys. Well, I mean, that's kind of
Are you getting into Deshaun Watson?
Yeah, they're going to stay away from that. I mean,
Is that why they didn't go after Carson Wentz when Indy was looking to trade out of him? I mean, is he in quote unquote character guy?
Carson's in perfect spot in hell now. So
I think the league is starting to see what Carson Wentz really is.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, Big Ben had if you guys recall, his early years in the league.
No, you're
he
right.
Had a lot of accusations thrown against him.
No, you're right.
So, but that being said, the Rooneys generally are known for being, they're the ones that created the Rooney Rule because they're good people, straight shooters. But yeah, it's interesting. I mean, after Russell Wilson went,
what's up, John?
And we're just discussing Watson's character. I mean, to put it this way, if we didn't like Jalen Hurts, if we weren't sold on Jalen Hurts, what play do we make if Watson isn't available?
I think you look at it as the play is that you just ride the year out because, like we've been saying all along, whether they're sold on Jalen Hurts or not, listen, they were in on Russell Wilson.
No, I'm saying we're okay with that.
All right.
But what does Pittsburgh have?
Oh,
Mason Rudolph.
That's what I'm saying.
He was terrible when he came.
Jimmy G. Jimmy G can't play in cold weather. He can't play in hot weather. He can't play in cold weather either. You know what I mean?
Jimmy G.
Right?
I don't know how he won games.
I don't either. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it has something to do with that Cherokee reference you had earlier, maybe. He was always showing up at the games pretty good. That's all I got to say.
Happy.
Yeah, very, very happy. Vinny checking in says, Landry, Robinson, Juju, or draft. That's it. I'll pass on Pascal. I'm with you, Vinny.
I don't want Pascal, but that's what I'm hearing.
I think Juju's the guy. I think Juju will be the receiver. You know why? Because he took a 1-year deal last year, and he is the word on him is once Antonio left, he couldn't be that number one guy. But I don't really buy that because he had a couple injury issues. He went through some concussion protocols. So, and Big Ben was on the last legs of his career as well. So we gotta relax with that, okay, and understand that this kid's only 25 years old. He's 25. Think about that. We're talking about signing 28, 29, 30-year-old receivers. This kid's 25. So I would put Juju number one, in my opinion.
I put Robinson number one.
You still put Robinson number one? I just for the age factor, I would go Juju.
But I think what our need is an outside, big and fast wide receiver, and Robinson fits that bill.
I just think that number's going to be huge.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. Juju's not a burner.
No, he's not.
He's a possession guy.
But is A-Rob a burner at this age of the game either?
He's a strong, big receiver.
He is. But Juju.
I like Juju because he's bigger. I think he's just bigger. I think he would be better in the slot.
Oh, for a slot guy.
And he would just be dominating in that spot.
But also remember, to your point, Nick, and what I was going to say right before you said that is you're spot on because if you look at Juju's numbers, he was a cross middle guy. His yards per catch was only like 7.
Yep.
He was getting games where like 8 catches for 90 yards, 8 catches for 70 yards because he was getting those possession type plays.
And he can break tackles too.
Yes, he can.
If he can stay healthy.
It's all about staying healthy. 100%. Vinny checking in says, don't rule out the Eagles trading for a wide receiver after that Ridley debacle because Ridley was going to be an Eagle.
Yeah.
Right? Until he decided to throw some parlays out there and, it is what it is. But what were you saying, Nick? You got somebody in mind?
No, I mean, I was going to say I agree with Vinny. I mean, the names that he put out there, and I would not go with Pascal. But I don't know, man. I think Landry is one of those receivers that I think has got the skill set that he's never been surrounded with a team that can optimize what he's able to do as an athlete.
It won't happen here.
What's that?
It wouldn't happen here.
Well, is it going to happen here with any of these players?
But that's the decision a receiver has to make.
Right.
Does this quarterback have the arm strength to exploit my talents? And I don't know that's what you have to think about. What are these receivers looking at with their?
But to that point, like what me and Nick are saying about Juju, that makes him kind of the perfect receiver for Jalen Hurts.
The underneath guy got you.
So listen, we'll see.
Plus, you let Smith spread the field.
But to Nick's point, if they sign Juju, they might use a number 1 pick on a wide receiver.
I don't think they will.
For a speed guy,
I don't know. Are you going to put all your eggs in Quez Watkins' basket as the outside guy?
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
And he didn't play that bad.
I like Quez, but
again, another
the
year
defense
work.
has to respect you that much more now with another guy like Juju.
and a lot of late round draft picks become stars. So maybe Quez has the potential to be that guy, but we just routed off some teams and their weapons,
Right.
and I don't know if you say Juju Smith, Quez Watkins, Devontae Smith, if that's
I like it.
I like it, but I don't love it.
And
Dallas
Goedert.
But you rattled off receivers and TJ Hawkinson. There's a lot of teams that even
yeah, but wait, hold on for a second. Think about that, right? You make a good point. So Adam says get someone so he can get rid of Rager. Yes, absolutely. We all know about that. But think about it. So Detroit, you're talking about Amon St. Brown, talking about DJ Chark and TJ Hawkinson.
Mm-hmm.
That's very equivalent to Devontae Smith, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Dallas Goedert. If you think about it, it's made the same kind of way. Maybe Chark has that slight edge over Devontae Smith for size-wise,
yeah.
right? But besides that, it's kind of emulating the same kind of game plan here. So, I think it's. Listen, this discussion is going to continue. We got more time left. Obviously, Vinny says Landry catches the football. That's the Eagles' need. Listen, absolutely, they need a guy who has sure hands. I think right now we're in speed. If they're going to stick with Jalen Hurts, because they're going to stick with Jalen Hurts, we already know that the regression of arm strength, right? We already know about that. So if you don't want a guy who's going to throw the ball long all the time, you want to get a receiver that can go across the middle and continue to get the chains moving with those 7-8 yard slants and maybe break a few after the catch. I think that's what they need. And I think that's what we need to do. So let me ask you guys this, because obviously since we were on the air, and obviously we're on the air live right here from Steam Pub, at Steam Pub on all social formats. Make sure you're following. They are the home of the real-time draft beer list. When they pop a new beer, it is live on social media, Instagram, Twitter. They already let you know the name, the alcohol content, the level, everything. It's right there. So if you're waiting for that special beer, Dan, and they crack it, boom, you can get here, and you make sure you get the first one off the tap. Not a lot ahead, so keep that in mind.
Pub,
real fast, Tony. It's another name just popped in my head.
Yeah, go ahead.
We were talking about equivalents.
Yes.
We didn't even mention Khalif Raymond.
Oh, I like Khalif
He
Raymond.
would be the equivalent
You're right.
to Quez Watkins.
And that's another guy they have on Detroit.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. He just popped in my head.
Yeah, I like that.
They're building.
They are building nice out there. If only they had a better quarterback.
Jared, yeah.
Exactly. Still Jared. God. I mean, that's the problem, man. You still got golf, man. That's tough. That's all right, though. My man Dan Campbell's biting off kneecaps out there, getting guys to play. No, Dan Campbell's he's a up-in-your-face kind of coach.
Former tight end also.
Yes, former tight end. I like it. So let's talk about the GOAT for a minute, right? So since we were last here, Tom Brady couldn't stay away. He's back. He's ready to compete. Instantly, the Bucs, do they become the favorite NFC? And it's funny, if you don't know, you can catch me Sunday night. That's the Win Daily Show, Saturdays and Sundays on Sirius XM Radio. Saturdays, great job with Jason Sia. Me and Jason go live Sundays. It's at 9 to 11. And we had almost a whole show about Tom Brady, because that's they want to talk about Tom Brady, right? They want to talk about Tom Brady. And listen, no matter when he decided to come back, everybody's going, of course he's going to come back and Selection Sunday and this and that. Me personally, I don't think he was ever ready to go. I think the whole issue was somebody overheard a conversation. It got leaked out, and I think he felt obligated to do it. And then when he saw what was happening and all these guys leaving the NFC, and he's thinking, wait a minute, I might have another run in me, man. I might have another run. So, listen, I think he played this perfectly, and I think he can play another 2-3 years, man. I do. I think. What do you think, Nicky?
I actually think he finally realized what family life is really like, and he's like, dude, I can still play this game. Let me get back in the gym. Let me go start working out. I could do this still, so why don't I do it?
He didn't want to be. He didn't want to live the
Nah,
dad life.
he had 2 months.
Nah,
He's like, you know what? I'm not ready for this.
The dad life,
And
though,
sometimes they're not ready for that. The whole family
he's had
thing,
plenty
so.
of off seasons. He's had plenty of off seasons.
Yeah, I mean, I
This
don't
was
know.
at the
Yeah,
regular
but if
season,
it's permanent, it's a whole different ball game.
But I'm saying the dad life would have kicked in once September rolled around. But my gut feeling tells me he was trying to do a little power play and try to get to the Niners. To maybe
Gotta go with my man
career.
Shanahan.
And then that's where the Cardinals were like, no, we'll trade him for 5 number 1 draft picks.
Yeah.
And they weren't playing games, and he came back. But to answer your other question, and you have to think Packers, Buccaneers, and the Niners. I think.
I think Sean McVay would have something to say about that.
and the Rams, and the Rams.
Yeah, I think he would have something to say about.
Are we leaving out the
Yeah.
defending champions here?
Yeah.
But that being said, I don't think they'd be favorites right now.
I'll tell you what. There was literally the biggest difference in point spreads. Right. Went from 2,200 to 800 instantly, man. Like to win for them to win the Super Bowl. It's just crazy.
Somebody's happy they put money down before Tom came back.
Oh, how about the guy with the football though? He paid $500,000 for the last touchdown with Tom Brady. You know what they said it's worth now? $50,000. That dude just lost $450,000.
Wow.
Maybe Tom will be a nice guy, and
Tom should buy it back from him.
it'll be a public relations
Yes,
too.
he
If he
should
does
buy
that.
it back from him or guarantee him the last ball that he.
That's a good point.
That's
Yeah.
what he should do. He
You
should
You
guarantee
think
that guy
wait,
is the
you think
last
Tom
ball.
does it? You think Tom does that?
Will
I
he
don't
do
know.
it?
I don't know.
No.
I don't know, man. I don't know. He may not.
Well, he's got a brand now to worry about too. So
Local brand as well.
yeah, so he may be worried about that brand. So that might be a PR stunt
Yeah, he could.
at the end.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But you saw right away, instantaneously, they start re-signing their guys. Right? They know they're in, and I think they secretly knew this because there was no whispers of them even doing anything at the quarterback position. Like zero. Nobody even said a word. Like it wasn't like, oh, they're gonna draft somebody or they ain't on anybody. Nobody except for the Jimmy G reference, and everybody's gonna have a Jimmy G reference because they all think the only place he can play is under the sunlight in 80-degree weather, which I think so too. But at the end of the day, I think, Dan, that they knew this was happening.
Yeah, you're right, because when you hear that you go from a contender to one of the lower.
Nicky
Proceed
Nuts is
team.
getting a photo bombing. Nicky Nuts is photo bombing.
All right,
by the way.
he's also looking. I think.
Yeah, you're away from the mic. You
I'm
need
away
some-
from Mike.
Yeah, you need some BDN action. on the mic.
I'm eating the mic again.
Look at Nicky Nuts photo bombing.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh,
So
boy.
I gotta say this while it's on my mind.
Go ahead.
When they were talking about, and I'm jumping around a little bit. When they were talking about Kenny Pickett having small hands, how many of you broke out the ruler and measured your
I
your
didn't want
hand
to.
size?
No, I didn't want to embarrass myself.
I have a 9.
That's
I have a
fine.
9-inch hand.
Wow, you got a quarterback here.
Whoa.
9-inch hand. 9-inch hand.
Whoa. What was that guy's name from last
9-inch nails. Yeah, he said with your 9-inch hand, you've got to have a size 12 foot.
I'm sorry, everybody. I know.
Yeah.
I can't get
We
you.
digress.
But viewers, tell me if you measured your hands. Your hands, I'm talking about.
No, man.
Kenny
Listen.
Pickett.
Listen, if the
Small
kid can
hands.
play, he can play.
I agree, but I measured my hands.
Listen, the quarterback position is pretty much, in my opinion, is about smarts and intelligence. You got to learn how to read
100%.
coverage. You got to know how to know a playbook. You
Yes.
got to know how to think ahead, man. Like I'm not saying that you can automatically grow arm strength or bigger hands, right? There's no pumps to grow bigger hands. But sorry, I shouldn't have said that. But what I'm saying is, it's all about what you have up here. That's why they have the Wonderlic test, right? We all know about that. It's you have to be able to digress the defense or dissect the defense, I should say. You have to know how to study a playbook. You have to know how to understand 2 steps ahead of what that defense guy is thinking. What's that Khalil Mack over there thinking at the linebacker spot, right? What's that Bobby Wagner thinking over there on the side? So, I mean, honestly, Dan, I don't care about his hands, man. Can he ball?
Yeah.
Like, can he ball? Now, do I think he's going to? I don't know. Like I told you, I'm transparent. I don't follow college football, so I couldn't even tell you I watched Kenny Pickett throw a pass. I'm going to be honest with you.
I mean, but the only thing with that is, does he drop to the end of the first round or leak into the second?
I think any quarterback, and tell me if you think I'm wrong, but any quarterback who has just an ounce of thought that they can be a starter in this league, that they're going to fly up the charts because it's such a premium position. I mean, Nick, look what we're talking about right now. What Mitch Trubisky? Think about it. That's all they had. Right, so I mean, everybody's going to put their eggs in the quarterback basket. Carson Wentz should have never been a top overall, a number 2 overall pick, right? Should never been that, but he was because they thought he could play.
And at the end of the day, everything you're saying is, having it upstairs is the end all be all if you're going to be a successful quarterback in this league. And you look at some of the best that have succeeded over the long haul, and they're the ones with the high IQ. That everything you're talking about, Tone, that can understand how to read a defense, that can understand, how much time they need to take before they need to make something happen, make a play, throw the ball away, all those kinds of things that are happening in milliseconds. And I don't know how easy or hard it is to gauge that from a scout level when you're talking about collegiate prospects. I got to think it's pretty difficult. So you've got to really rely on people that have been around these players for a really long time, and small hands and, size and all those kinds of things, are contributing factors to the rubric when you're talking about defining somebody's skill set. But at the end of the day, if you talk to most amateur scouts in all sports, the number one thing they want to hear is that kid's really smart and he understands the game, whatever it is, whether it's hockey, basketball, football, or baseball. So it's just mentality is very, very important. And at the end of the day, when it comes time to evaluate your team and to evaluate what's going on, particularly for the Eagles and Jalen Hurts, does he have those tangibles? I don't think any of us really know the answer to that question, but it looks like we're going to have another year to try and figure that out and see if he can evolve as a premier, quarterback in this league next year, if he's surrounded with some better tools and some more coaching to help him evolve.
Yeah. I think it's perfectly said, man.
All up
perfectly
here.
said.
Look at Tom Brady.
I completely agree.
Nobody studies more defense than Tom Brady, and they all those players that walked in and saw him there before them and after them, still looking at film and reading film during the games, reading film. That's why he's the greatest quarterback of all time.
You think his tangibles are better than
he put his time in? Yeah. He's learning the defense. He knows exactly what's coming before it even comes.
He doesn't have the physical tools that half the quarterbacks in this league have. Doesn't have them. He's got good arm strength, and that's about it. Everything else comes from his brain upstairs.
His instinctual intelligence is insane. Right?
And that's from studying. From studying. His work ethic
still an if factor. Yeah, you're right.
That's what scares me when you start talking about this Malik Willis from Liberty and all these other. These are dynamic players, and Pinkett who can throw. He can throw the ball a ton and whatnot. But at the end of the day, that's not what it's about. It's just not. I mean, yes, those are the intangibles, and those are things that are going to add to your checklist on how you define a player's skill set. But at the end of the day, you got to have really, really smart athletes playing for you that understand what's going on, how to know how to play in, make adjustments and to do the things they need to do mentally in a fraction of a period of time to contribute to your team's success.
And I think in today's NFL, you remember before Gruden became the coach, he would have that show where he had the
X's and O's and
quarterback, Gruden's quarterback.
Yes.
I guarantee you, every interview nowadays, a quarterback has to go up to a whiteboard and describe what the coaches have up on the board. And that's a way for them to gauge the intelligence of the quarterback almost instantaneously.
Yeah.
And to Nick's point, how does Pickett, how does Willis perform in front of the board?
Right.
They say, Willis really came off high in meetings.
He has a rifle, but he's not tall.
Right.
And he didn't really light up a small college program.
Right.
The way you thought.
Division 3, wasn't it?
He played for Liberty.
Yeah.
Yeah, he played for Liberty.
Not Division 3. It's like 1AA.
1A, right.
Listen, one thing's for sure. We got to go back for another year. Whether you like him, whether you hate him, he's still the GOAT. It is what it is. It's still remarkable to see what this guy is going to enter as an age 44 quarterback. Like, are you kidding me? Like, it's just unbelievable what he's able to do.
And his best statistical year, I think, since the Randy Moss year.
Yeah.
He's whatever program he's on, it's clearly working.
He was a top 3 quarterback last year.
Yeah.
He threw for 5,300 yards. You know, he had the most attempts in the NFL at 712 for a quarterback. That's unheard of at his age. I think he had 38 touchdowns, if I'm not mistaken. The guy was a machine last year, absolute machine. And here's the thing, guys. You look at it. He quite possibly is going to be a top 3 quarterback this year.
Oh, yeah.
I don't see any kind of huge regression here. I mean, honestly, when you think about, especially in NFC, you know, Russ goes out. You know, it's just it's amazing to see how this is all going to work out and play out. So, listen, I'm going to be selfish. Like I always tell you guys that, you know, I feel so blessed to be in an era to be able to see. I watch guys like Jordan in their prime. I watch guys, whether I love them or hate them, guys like LeBron in their prime, AI, Kobe, you know, even Mario and Wayne in the hockey format, right? So, and now, you know, you're able to watch Tom Brady. I mean, how friggin' lucky are we, man?
Yeah.
You know, like we always grew up on that historical factor, like, oh, you hear about Johnny Unitas and you hear about, you know, you're like, I never watched Johnny Unitas play. Jim Brown, I've never been able to watch him play. These guys I've been able to watch play, man. So
you know the crazy.
I feel really good about that.
I'm gonna again, shameless plug, but
that's fine.
My quick takes
coming
up on Friday. I'm going to address
Heat Ratio Sports. Subscribe, baby.
I'm going to address some Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And you referenced Johnny Unitas. He's not in this quick takes, but all of those legendary quarterbacks, most of them are barely above 50% completion percentage for their career.
Isn't that crazy?
It is crazy.
Look at Troy Aikman.
Oh.
No, but Aikman's well above 50%. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about like the 60s and 70s.
It's nuts.
It's
man.
astonishing their numbers. If you covered their name and showed their statistic, you'd be like, no way, this guy.
I love when people do that. You're like, who would this? And you're like,
and
what?
That's what I'm going to do next week.
I love it.
Excuse me, this Friday.
There's never a shameless plug, man.
No.
Never shameless. But I'll tell you what is going to be a shameless plug, because Adam has typed this a couple times. Adam, I'm not forgetting about you. I want to make mention of it. Again, I forgot the soundbite, but hey, yo, rest in peace, my man, Scott Hall, Razor Ramon, all right, from the NWO, from the WWE, the all-time most infamous ladder match in the history of wrestling. Okay, Scott Hall, no matter what his shortcomings were, no matter what battles he had with addiction, I've been at live events for Scott Hall where he had to leave and could not even make it out because he was that hammered. But he had issues, right? Nobody's perfect. The one thing I loved about Scott Hall was he wore his feelings on his sleeve. He was who he was. And again, you follow Heat Ratio Sports. Our man Matty Daddy at Matty Daddy FF just did a fantastic 40-minute episode that drops the wrestling mat drops on our network and his own network as well. It's a multi-platform network.
Awesome show.
Okay. I mean, great
awesome show.
I mean, the guy is so charismatic. The choreography, the edits that he does, and it was all about Scott Hall. So
it's almost like he wrestles, like he should be. He looks like he
or like an announcer.
It's awesome.
Yeah. You could tell he's thick.
He looks like they just pulled a mile of the mat and he's ready to go.
I wouldn't mess with Matty Daddy.
No, not at all, man. I'm not. Anybody with a goatee like that, I'm not messing with a beard like that.
He's got a big beard.
Yeah, he's got a big beard. So I just think right in my mind, like, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble. But Rick Lorenzen, our man, check it, says, did you say 9-inch beard? Man, you're on that Cherokee porn reference again. Namath sucked, he said. Rick Lorenzen says, Namath sucked.
Rick, you're blowing my show now.
But listen, man, Tom Brady is back, and listen, he is the GOAT, man. It is what it is. So it's going to be interesting how the NFL season breaks out. We still got some more time, so let's talk about this. We'll do the last topic of the night real fast. We'll get into this. We're going to get to, we got a little Jigsaw Chronicle. We'll talk about that right now, and then we're going to end on some Major League Baseball talk because we did some March Madness in the beginning, so we kind of covered it in the face segment. As always, here, make sure you're following at Steam Pub, beautiful Bucs County, 2nd Street Pike. We're doing a lot of great things here. They're doing a lot of great things here within the community. We are going to have the athletic spotlight very, very shortly, where we highlight a a suburban one player that's doing great things in the community, offer him here on the stage. If he wants to be a part of the show, wants to have dinner here, it'd be great. Just that these kids, we talked about coaching guys, but these kids need the accolades because there's so much goes into youth sports that they put into as well. So I think it's a great time to put them on the spotlight they deserve. But Jigsaw Chronicles, man. And again, Nick hit me with this during the week. There's stuff that goes on through the daily routine, whether myself, whether Dan, Nick, whatever, Al, and every time a light bulb goes off, like, what's going on? And it's the evolution of the four-way stop sign, right? It's like, who goes first? Who's in the right? Who's in the wrong? And the worst, Mr. Tosti, is when all four people sit there and they have no idea what to do. Right, and I'm sure you were in this situation yourself.
Yeah.
Wait, you were texting me. You're like, I got it. I can see his face is probably red.
I
as he
texted
was
you from my
texting me.
car.
See, I told you he was in a four-way stop himself.
Yeah.
Hey,
Doesn't
here's the
exist in Jersey.
Oh my god,
They have
thing. Yeah,
roundabouts
they're the roundabouts and the circles, which makes more sense.
because they
Here's the
can't
thing.
understand it. They don't understand the 4 stop signs.
Does everybody understand the rules of the four-way stop sign?
no,
Number one,
No.
the most important rule of a stop sign, period, is you pull up to the line, you pull up to the stop sign, and you stop. You don't roll through it.
no.
Especially at a busy four-way intersection.
No.
Now, when it comes to the rules of the four-way intersection, you pull up, you stop, and it's who was there first. That lane
yeah.
gets to go.
Proper
if
etiquette.
you don't know that out there, here's what it is. You pull up to the four-way stop sign. The adjacent car either was there or it's pulling up to the stop sign. Now, if the adjacent car was there, it's their turn to go.
Yes.
You stop, you wait, you don't roll through the stop sign. Please let the car go, and then it's your turn. You and the other car on the other side of you. It's not really that difficult.
They make it.
You kept people rolling through stop signs trying to beat 3 other cars. Where are you going in 20 seconds faster?
Oh,
What are you doing?
it's the
what is
worst.
The problem
going on
is
here?
When
It's
people
the
are too
worst.
nice and they're like, no,
Right.
you go. No,
That's it.
you go. No, you. It's
But I
whoever
would
gets
rather
there
have that.
first.
I would
Whoever
rather
gets
have
there first goes.
I-
It's
I
not a
agree, man.
question.
The other issue
I
at these
agree.
stop signs is I could get there second behind the guy that's first, but technically after the guy that's behind the guy that's first, but I'm still next because I'm the only one at my stop sign.
Yeah,
Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no,
And the
I
guy
do.
that's behind
I
the
do.
guy that just went thinks he can also go before you.
It's
And
whoever's at the line, man. There's a line there for a reason.
But that's also often the guy that causes the problem. Is the second guy that was at the four-way stop area. He might have gotten to his stop sign before you got to your stop sign, but he's behind a car and you're not.
Well, what about the light flicker? So, did you ever get the quick flicker?
Yeah, you go.
So the guy, no, I'm talking about the quick flicker, right? So that dude already knows, like, he's like, oh, I'm gonna flick the lights real fast before I even come to a stop, right? So, and throws everything off.
Right.
Like, no,
Right.
come to the stop, then flick.
I think you have to ignore the flicker.
Don't do me a favor
you gotta-
until you
Yeah,
establish
the flicker gets
protocol.
put to the back of the line.
Yeah, just forget that ever happened, Tone. Just go at stay within the rules, stay within
Just
the
keep
guidelines.
flicking them. Just
Stay
keep,
within the
you have a
attitude.
match.
The
You
flicker's
just
the
flick
guy
back,
Nick's
back
talking
and
about.
way.
He doesn't know
You
what he's
just
talking
flick
about.
back
You
and
gotta
back
ignore
and
the
forth.
flicker. He's gonna cause an accident.
You have no
for sure.
business to flick.
Yeah.
You're like third one up.
You
the
flick
waiver,
as you're
the waiver.
talking, you
Right.
dumb mother.
That's the problem. Everybody's too nice. Everybody wants to be a
Yep.
flicker. I want to be the first person to flick.
I wish I was around more people at four-way stop signs that were too nice, because I always have the impatient ones that are trying to get to the Starbucks drive-through 30
I
seconds
know
faster
exactly
than
where
me.
you're
To
at.
get their $10 latte,
Yeah.
right?
Well, the other thing is, like, when you how many times have you been to like a pattern of four-way stops and then you get to a two-way intersection? I mean, a four-way intersection with two stop signs, and it throws you off a little bit.
Yeah. No, you're right. You got to be careful.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. But listen, again, you learn two things from this show. You learn, please, if you want to bring an umbrella out and it's in the springtime, either put it up or leave it home, because you're screwing up society. Because everybody thinks now they got to go home because it's going to rain.
Tony,
Right.
I can't even remember the last time I
Right.
used an umbrella.
Me
to be
neither.
honest with
Yeah.
you.
Everybody has hoodies. Put a hood
Yes,
up.
exactly.
Right.
Baseball cap.
Bingo.
Put a hood up. I mean,
They
come
make
on.
raincoats for a reason.
Right. I mean, raincoats, bro. Who wears a raincoat? I don't wear a raincoat.
Columbo.
You wear a raincoat?
No.
I actually do have a raincoat. I actually bought it for
How
the
typical.
Flyers
Nuts has a raincoat.
outside game at the Link against Pittsburgh.
All right, I'll give you that.
So yes, I have
All
a raincoat, and I do wear it on it occasionally.
Okay.
But I don't even own an umbrella anymore. I just either go or I don't.
The only person that I ever remember wearing a raincoat is like Paddington the Bear. I don't know why, but if you were at, like, that's the first that comes is that Paddington the Bear book. We're always wearing a yellow raincoat. So, Nicky Nuts, you are now Paddington the Bear. But no, seriously, all things aside, please put the umbrella up or leave it home. And if you're a 4-way stop sign, please come to a complete stop and know who's first and have that proper etiquette. That is your heat ratio.
Just like Moon Graham.
Of the day.
Moon Graham always had an umbrella with him.
I don't even know who the hell that is.
He's referring to Field of Dreams.
Oh, Field of Dreams.
Moonlight.
Field of Dreams.
Moonlight.
I'm sorry. Well, he said moon. And
Moon Graham.
We had a special moon.
Moonlight.
We had a special moon last week, so I wasn't sure what kind of moon we were referring to. So let's end the segment on this. I end the show on this. We had a great time, as always. Make sure you're following us at Heat Ratio Sports. Follow us on all social formats. As always, make sure you're subscribing to the YouTube channel. But, guys, the MLB is back. I think we all knew it was inevitable. They're still going to play 162 games. It's going to be somewhat of a condensed schedule to get those games in. So, for all you DFS players out there and fantasy players, remember, not a lot of time off. I can tell you that. You're going to be every single day, have a lot of games, people getting paid, but the Phillies still doing nothing. Very disappointing. They signed Familia. They signed Hand. I still think a big move's coming, but, I am so disappointed, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse here, and I know we only got $1 million contract. But, we talked about on this show, every single one of us have children. My daughter's in the audience, fantastic people all over. I had a great discussion with the great Renee Washington. Make sure you watch that as well. She covers all sports, ESPN, Fox Sports, you name it. It is on the Final Judgment on Heat Ratio Sports as well. But when are we ever going to take a stand and say that sports are not bigger than domestic violence? And it just kills. Like, this guy has no place in Major League Baseball. He is not. It's not even like we're talking about a superstar, for Christ's sake. It's not like you brought in my man Barry Bonds, whether you want to say whatever you want, but it's not like you're we got to. It's Odubel Herrera. Like, are you kidding? Like, is your team that bad that you gotta bow down to Odubel Herrera? Like, maybe I just feel strongly about this, but when are we ever going to stand up and admit that domestic violence is wrong? No matter what gender it is, it doesn't matter. It's wrong. And you're giving these guys a free pass. I don't care if he was suspended for 60 games. You just showed them it's okay to make millions of dollars and still beat people senseless and put your hands on people that you should not be able to do. I'm sorry. Maybe that's just me. I'm very strong about it, but I can't stand it. But, Dan, you're really surprised it brought back Odubel.
I am and I'm not. But to tie in what you just said, Familia is no
he's not.
angel either.
He's not.
He has a similar history.
You're right. All of a sudden, they want to bring in a bunch of dirtbags. I don't get it.
It just goes to show you how empty the cupboard is in their organization. I mean, Moniak
That's a good
is
point.
a bust. Hazley is a bust. We were talking about Kiermaier. He's not much of a hitter. Great fielder, not much of a hitter.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He's not good.
What drives me crazy about Odubel Herrera is his IQ.
Okay.
He has none. I mean, he's the worst base runner I've ever seen.
He's a moron.
He takes terrible. Well, yeah,
he throws the ball to third when it's supposed to go to second. I mean, it makes zero. He
Nicky
just
Knight
aggravates
likes
me
the signing tone.
I think
way.
he does. I think I think the reason why he signed is because he's seen Nicky Nuts' nipples on the sideline when he took his shirt off.
How about the bat flips on a routine fly ball?
Oh, dude, it kills me.
You're not Ozzy.
No, but to your earlier point, I'll let Nick jump in. Is you feel like they're buying at a thrift shop right now instead of Bloomingdale's?
Yes. Well, no. So what do you get? Like Javon texts and talks about Matt Verling is their best hope in center. Does that anybody have it? I don't know.
They're going to platoon the two,
right?
Verling and Odubel. And that's not a recipe for success.
Yeah, Adam says Herrera is trash. I agree. Nick, what do you got on Herrera?
Well, I agree, Tony. I mean, I think at the end of the day, there's a moral obligation for the franchise to make sure that the character of the team is put forth before anyone else.
That was last year, though, unfortunately.
Right. And at the end of the day, this team just doesn't seem like they have an idea, a grasp on what they're trying to do. No plan, so to speak. Are we really going into this season without making any big changes at all? Especially in the rotation, especially in the bullpen.
It's got to be coming. It's got to be coming.
Oh my God!
It's got to be coming.
Well, the three names are the left fielders.
Right.
That's where you're hanging your hat right now.
Yeah.
Castellanos, Schwarber, Bryant.
So I want Bryant.
Me too.
Right. So
he's got the most well-rounded game.
Yes, I think he knocks off a bunch of check marks too.
But Colorado is going hard.
I saw that.
Right. Very hard.
I saw that. So I think, Dan, and I may. So this was my prediction as of Sunday night on Sirius. I said either Chris Bryant or a mix of Chapman, they're going to trade for from Oakland,
right?
Who's probably one of the best defensive third basemen in Major League Baseball.
He is, yes.
And sign Castellanos. So I think you're either going to get Chapman and Castellanos or you're going to get Chris Bryant. That for me. That's my prediction.
Now the thing with Chapman is, are you willing to give up Bryson Stott for him? Are you willing to give up one of these two?
No.
They have three prospects in their system right now.
Not Scott.
Right,
I wouldn't give up Stott. I wouldn't give up Stott.
I want Stott to take over now. It's time the pisser get off the pot. He's 23 years old.
No, you're right.
What are you doing with Didi then?
Didi could be your third baseman.
Oh.
What are you doing with
Bohm? I don't know about that.
No,
I don't know about that.
I think his shortstop can make a transition to third base easily. I think.
Well, the problem is you can't get rid of him because he beat that money.
That's right. That's why and maybe Bohm has some trade value.
No, Bohm will be going to Oakland.
Yeah, that's true. He would go.
He would go in that trade.
Yeah.
If they make that trade, he's gone.
But you're going to lose one of the two top pitchers. I'm drawing a blank on their names right now. We have two highly regarded pitching prospects.
Yeah,
our last two number one draft picks were pitchers, and they're both 6'5", 1 6'8", and they're flamethrowers.
Yeah, well, and
that's who. And let's face it, Chapman is a great fielder, but he only hit 217 last year, I believe.
Well, and he has an extensive injury history.
Yeah,
too.
and he's got some pop, but he's not worth giving up the farm for.
Yeah, so you don't want to give up Andrew Painter or Mick Abel.
Correct.
Krause.
That Krause we got in the trade,
right?
So that's another.
Still considered one of the.
Yeah.
Always remember though, some guys, Dombrowski has he has a track record of giving up all prospects in order to get established superstars. That's what he does.
Oh no, yeah,
but he did it in Boston for years.
Yeah, but he also built teams in other centers. He's done it. He's done it every way.
Yeah,
he does have a little bit of a false reputation about always trading away the farm. He did that. He definitely did that in Boston, but Boston won with that strategy because they had ready to win now players.
So it's a good question about Scott though. Look, with because really, your best prospect coming out is going to be taking over a position where there really isn't a sore need to make a change there.
Right.
Which, of course, why can't it be?
I know.
Obviously another position like third base or whatever, where you really have some questions. But what do you guys see happening with Scott? There's going to be a competition for who wins that position this year.
Well, he's been invited. They said Stott's invited to spring. They want him to compete for a position.
What if he lights it up? What if he lights it up in the Grapefruit League?
That's the thing. It's like
good. That's good to have. That's a good problem to have. I mean,
you have dead money, like Tony said. But
I don't know though. I think you would be able to swing a deal
to get rid of Didi. You mean?
Yeah, I do, because he's on the last year of a contract.
Right.
Yeah.
So you may be able to work something out in baseball where look, somebody eats a little bit of money, you eat a little bit of money. Ruben Amaro did it for years, right? There's ways.
I don't mind keeping Didi. I don't mind keeping him though. If he's holding you back from down the line because you want to stay within that luxury tax, if these moves we're talking about push them up against it, then that's a different story. But Didi supposedly is 100% healthy now. He was fighting that elbow problem all last year. He still has some pop, and with the DH concept, DH being a reality now, Didi has some versatility. He probably could play shortstop. He probably could play second base in a pinch. So Johan Camargo was a great signing, in my opinion. That they signed from the Braves.
Oh, from the Braves.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
I was so focused on Brad Hain and
Right,
and
but that
Familia.
was a while ago, though.
Right.
I forgot
that
all
was
about
before the strike.
But they had,
Or lockout,
yeah,
I
but
should say.
they, I don't know. To Nick's point, Didi is, I think I expect him to hit better than he did last year, but I just don't think he has the range anymore.
No, he definitely doesn't have the range.
So that's the problem.
You got two guys, him and Segura, that are kind of like at the.
You've got Segura.
That
you
stage.
get a horrific infield. A horrific
I know.
infield.
I
Bone
know.
can't play third. Hoskins can't play first.
Thank God for the universal DH, right?
Right, but right.
I mean, that could have saved Hoskins' career.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, think about it.
But now we got to find a first baseman.
Yeah, we do.
Freeman.
Dude.
I would love that.
Take him.
How old is he?
30. He only
Teach
33.
Reese Hoskins how to play center field.
No.
Go play center field.
No. Nicky nuts. No.
Listen, all I know
If
is
you can't play first base, you can't play center field.
as long as Freddie Freeman is no longer Atlanta Brave, I'm
Right.
very happy.
Right.
I don't care because he is a Philly killer.
Matt Olson's not chopped liver.
Now, did you see that money he got today?
8 for 168 or something like
He
that.
got big money, Matt
Yeah.
Olson.
Matt Olson. What'd I say?
No, you said Matt
Okay.
Olson.
I think he got 8 for
He got big money.
168 or something
Hey,
like that.
we had a kill with him in DFS last year.
Yeah, I
Remember that? We were playing Matt Olson a lot in that court. So it'll continue. But listen, hey,
Chapman too, I think.
yeah, we did. We liked the A's last year. We did. We liked the A's. So a lot of stuff going on, obviously. And when we get back here next week, right, Steam Pub, the Phillies will absolutely have to make a deal by then. We know that. And the Eagles, I'm sure, will make a deal. We're going to have some updated brackets by then, right? We got a whole weekend of March Madness play out. So make sure you come on out here at Steam Pub in beautiful Bucs County, Southampton, PA, right on 2nd Street Pike. You'll see the address posted on our website. Make sure you're checking them out. They got a big deal on St. Patty's Day as well. So make sure, check it out. They got the DJ spinning it up. They got, listen, man, these guys do it right. And they got every single beer on tap that you can expect. I mean, here, look, I'm going to put it right up on the screen. It's our St. Patty's Day
coming
party
here
right
Thursday.
there. Thursday.
12 o'clock,
Absolutely,
baby.
Man. Irish cuisine.
Let's go.
They got the Irish cuisine.
I'm coming
man.
here for March
What's good
Madness.
Irish
I will
cuisine,
watch
Tone?
some basketball
What's that?
all
Bangers and
day.
mash. Bangers and mash.
I can't.
Watching March
Bangers and
Madness
mash. It's like a
all
sausage and
day.
mashed potatoes. Yeah.
I can't do
Number
that.
one.
I can't do that.
Tony, breaking news. Our most favorite waitress here gave me two teams, Gonzaga and UCLA, as her final.
Wow, really? UCLA. I like that. I like that.
I don't think it can be.
That can't.
Kentucky.
You're
It's the same waitress
your-
that
your
has
friend-
the score of the Eagles
Yeah,
Super
well,
Bowl.
our friendly waitress has got 2 teams from the same side of the bracket.
Oh, she's in a championship game.
Yeah,
Give her
She
that,
made the
man.
Final Four.
She's good,
Yeah, she made
man.
the
Yeah,
Final
fine.
Four.
Yeah.
Listen, that's all good. Rick, before we go, Rick checking in says Freeman 31 Pujols was the same age when he went to the Angels. Check that out.
All right.
All right, thanks,
He's
Rick.
not 32, 33. I thought he was older.
Wow, Freddie Freeman's smooth, man. Freddie Freeman is
Because
smooth.
we feel
And
like
he
he's
seems
been
like a
killing
nice
us
guy,
forever.
too.
He is a nice guy. I mean, from what I
Yeah.
take about him, he read the stories about him, he seems like a nice guy. But as always, man, everybody tuning in, Adam, Rick, Jovan, everybody, man, we really appreciate everybody here. Fantastic audience. I mean, it's loud. I can barely hear myself talk, even though I'm a loud talker anyway. It's like that. What was that Seinfeld episode? The loud talker? I am
Close
Close
talker.
talker.
Close
close
talker.
talker. I'm a loud talker. So
The soft talker too.
yeah. I don't know soft. We don't have any soft talkers here. Maybe soft talk. Maybe I don't know. Maybe Jay. Maybe Jay's a soft talker. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. Maybe Jay. I'm not sure. But as always, follow us at Heat Ratio Sports. Make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you download. Make sure you're liking the page. Here's Steam Pub. Make sure you visit us. Check them out at Steam Pub. Great sponsor of the show. Make sure you're checking out Spine Roofing as always. And make sure you're following. We're going to post a link to the CBS bracket as well. Make sure you're following that as well. You'll see there. You get in there some prizes that they're giving away. I think there's a $100 gift card on the line too, my man. Something like that from what I understand. So make sure that you follow the bracket. We'll make sure we post up that link after the show. But as always, for myself, for Dan, from the Double Knicks, everybody stay safe, stay healthy. We'll catch you right back here next week.